Few presidents in American history have left behind a legacy as controversial and divisive as Donald J. Trump. To some, he is a political outsider who fought for the forgotten men and women of America. To others, he represents chaos, corruption, and a threat to democracy itself. Years after leaving the White House, Trump's name still sparks heated debates at dinner tables, classrooms, and even inside Congress. In this video, we dive deep into why Trump's legacy continues to divide America, and why the battle over his presidency is far from over. When Trump first entered the political scene in 2015, many laughed at the idea of a reality TV star and billionaire real estate mogul running for president. But for millions of Americans, Trump's outsider status was his greatest strength. He spoke in plain language, attacked the political establishment, and promised to drain the swamp. His supporters felt he said what they were already thinking, but didn't dare speak out loud. But this raw, unfiltered style also horrified critics. They saw it as reckless, undignified, and dangerous for the highest office in the land. From day one, Trump split America into two camps, those who admired his boldness and those who feared his rise. Trump's presidency wasn't just about personality. It was about policies that touched nearly every corner of American life. He pushed for stricter immigration enforcement, including the controversial border wall and travel bans targeting certain countries. For his supporters, this was about national security and protecting American jobs. For his critics, it was seen as xenophobic and discriminatory. On the economy, Trump cut taxes and rolled back regulations, moves that his base celebrated as pro-business and pro-growth. Yet opponents argued these benefits went mostly to the wealthy and corporations. Foreign policy was just as divisive. Trump's America First approach challenged old alliances, withdrew from international agreements, and embraced strongmen leaders. Supporters said he made America stronger. Critics said he isolated the nation and weakened global partnerships. Every policy Trump touched became another wedge that split Americans apart. One of the most defining features of Trump's legacy is his war with the media. He labeled mainstream outlets as fake news and called journalists the enemy of the people. Millions of Americans agreed with him, believing that media elites were biased and out of touch with ordinary citizens. But for others, Trump's attacks on the press represented a direct threat to free speech and democratic accountability. Trust in news outlets, already fragile, collapsed even further during Trump's years. In many ways, Trump didn't just fight the media, he reshaped it. His presidency fueled the rise of partisan outlets, viral misinformation, and a digital echo chamber that made it harder for Americans to even agree on basic facts. Trump's legacy is also deeply tied to the culture wars. He positioned himself as the defender of traditional values, religious freedom, and patriotism. From standing for the national anthem to opposing movements he labeled as radical left, Trump became a cultural warrior. For his supporters, he was fighting against political correctness, cancel culture, and elites who looked down on everyday Americans. But for his critics, Trump inflamed racial tensions, mocked marginalized groups, and pushed America backwards in terms of equality and justice. The culture war lines became sharper than ever. Red versus blue, conservative versus liberal, traditionalist versus progressive. Trump didn't just participate in these battles, he made himself the center of them. Perhaps the most polarizing chapter of Trump's legacy is the January 6th attack on the U.S. Capitol. After the 2020 election, Trump repeatedly claimed the results were rigged, despite courts and officials saying otherwise. His words fueled anger and distrust, leading to a violent insurrection that shocked the world. For critics, January 6th proved that Trump was willing to undermine democracy itself to hold on to power. They argue that this single event will forever stain his presidency, but among his loyalists, the story is very different. They see January 6th as a moment of patriotic resistance against a corrupt system. Even today, Trump's insistence that the election was stolen keeps millions of Americans questioning the legitimacy of U.S. democracy itself. Few events in history have divided Americans more sharply than this. So why, years later, does Trump's legacy still divide America? The answer lies in three things: identity, trust, and power. For many Americans, supporting Trump isn't just about politics, it's about identity. He represents their struggles, their fears, and their vision of what America should be. To attack Trump feels like attacking them personally. Meanwhile, trust in institutions like the media, government, and elections has crumbled. Trump's presidency both exploited and deepened that distrust. And finally, Trump's ongoing influence over the Republican Party ensures that his shadow continues to shape American politics. Whether you love him or hate him, you cannot ignore him. And that reality keeps America locked in division. Donald Trump's legacy is not just about policies, scandals, or even elections. It's about the way he exposed America's deep divides of class, race, culture, and trust. To some, he is a hero who gave them a voice. To others, he is a cautionary tale of how fragile democracy can be. And that is why, even years after leaving office, Trump's legacy still splits America down the middle. So what do you think? Is Trump's legacy one of strength and patriotism, or chaos and division? Let's talk about it in the comments. And if you found this video insightful, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more deep dives into the stories shaping our world.